Hey everybody, how's it going? It is 6:30 and it is time for a live feed. I hope you're all doing well out there in YouTube land. I felt compelled to go ahead and do a video on this because man, 70,000 subscribers. Just a dude hanging out in his garage making videos, and who would have thought, you know? I'll bet you that it won't be but about a year and a half or so, and we'll be celebrating 100,000, and maybe I'll get to put the plaque on, behind me. That'd be pretty cool. Moto Dad saying, congratulations and thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I see Dallas Rife is in here. Robbie Strike, always a pleasure to have both you guys on board. And David G, good to see you. Good to see you. I keep begging my wife Jen to be a part of these live feeds. She's sitting in the other room doing work of her own, but yeah, she's just not ready to take the plunge, I guess. It's the way it is. Text Pat, how's it going, my friend? Thank you, Dallas. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just shocked. It wasn't, gosh, it was, I think I had 10,000 subscribers when I first decided to do a live feed. I remember my heart beating in my chest, and it went well, and so here we are. There's been some times where I've done this once a week. There's been times when I've done it once a month. I know that I'm not doing it often enough, I feel, but I try to squeeze it in a very busy life that I've got going on right now. Barney, I appreciate it. Barney, you are my first official member for Farpoint Farms. We added memberships here on the channel, and I think it's like $2 a month or something like that to become a member and support the channel. And Barney did it, so congratulations, Barney. Let me know if there's anything I can do. I'll give you a shout out on future videos for that. I appreciate it. 741 is in here. That's a great channel, my friend. I'm good to see you in here, and always appreciative when I get to hear from you. Thomas Albert says hello. Let's see. Dallas Rife saying love being a part of the Farpoint family. That's cool, isn't it? Hey, Reginald, always cool, man. Dublin, Ireland. A likeness. Congratulations on 70K. Scooter 55's in here. Barney's blushing. Awesome. Well, hey, there's a lot of stuff. Hey, Megan's in here too. Boy, we got a whole bunch of people. 40 some odd and climbing, it looks like, on my counter. So a lot going on here, and you guys being the super fans, the ones that are family, literally. I've got some stuff I want to share with you. I had a lot of problems, a lot of sickness, and had some surgeries, and all that stuff is quite thankfully behind me now. So back to no lifting restrictions, back to feeling myself, hoping that I don't gain all the weight that I lost back. I'm down well under 200 pounds, and that's okay. I'm good with that. Though, I was way overweight for my size, and so I'm happy that I'm kind of healthier in that sense. In fact, I've been working out a little bit with my wife, but a lot of stuff going on, and in the meantime. So let's see here. I don't want to ignore any comments while I'm talking, but good afternoon, evening. Love the channel. Inspired my Part 15 station. You, sir, are awesome for having a Part 15 station. I love community radio, so I really do appreciate that, seriously. Demo saying, what's up? So anyway, here's some of the things that have happened since we last talked. Because I was kind of on my butt, so to speak, and not able to do a lot of the fun stuff I wanted to do, I took care of things that I should have done years ago and never got around to. Some of that being I started a website. So farpointfarms.com is part of the Farpoint family now. And yeah, just hang on one second, okay? Hey, Jen? I think Jen might be watching TV. I can see the bit rate's kind of hurting a little bit here, so hopefully that won't interfere. Y'all let me know if it keeps pausing. I see on my end it kind of cutting out a little bit. I hope it's not on your end. But anyway, I started a website. The website is www.farpointfarms with an S at the end, not the farm, because they're actually a horse farm somewhere in the country, but farms.com. I know Barney's over there, and several other of you have found it on your own. I know I told the folks over on Patreon and maybe Facebook that was a thing, but I'm kind of letting y'all know right now. The website itself is just kind of a gateway to the forums, and so we have forums over there, CB radio stuff, car repair stuff, the little of everything. If you love it, then you'll love then then you'll love what's on the channel. You'll love what's on the website. It's pretty much talking about those things. The audio, is it just me? I don't know. You guys tell me. I've got the microphone on. I tell you what, I can move it closer. You tell me, is that better, sir? Does that help? You let me know if that's any better. I just moved it closer. Back. I'll tilt it up so it's angling right at me here. It's always hard to know where to set this stuff up, you know, when you do these live shows. Hey, Mike, how's it going, buddy? I see Mike's in there. So that's the one big thing, right? So farpointfarms.com is the new website, and I hope that it's something you guys will take the time to visit. There's links to the other stuff that I do. You know, I do a podcast, I do a radio show. 12 episodes every year of the radio show, another 10 of the podcast usually, and yeah, Meg's asking about things like Outlanders. Yeah, so there's automotive related content on the forums. There's mower related content on the forums, radios, including Part 15 and community radio station stuff. So a little bit of everything, honestly. It's like it's everywhere. There's a lot of it. And of course, if you want to talk about stuff, we have like general chats. So talk to me about what you're interested in, and we're checking it a couple times a week as it grows. But as it gets bigger and bigger, we'll probably be checking it daily. The cool part about the forums are you can post pictures. I think you can post videos or at least links to videos. And so it's not just text only, which is where we get stuck on YouTube's comment section. It's just text, and you really can't even put links in on the YouTube's comment section without it getting flagged. So that's a cool place. I hope you'll check that out. Also on the website, and this is kind of another thing that Jen's really taken off with. I've had a Teespring, I think it's just called Spring now, account forever, and made some shirts, but I'm no artist. Well, Jen has gotten the artistic flair, and so she has created a whole bunch of new shirt designs, mug designs, posters and stuff, and so she's going to be adding new ones, I think every month or every 2 weeks. She's going to be adding more to that collection, but there's stuff over there. We don't make but about 50 cents to $1 on any sale that happens over there, so it's not like we're going to get rich off of it by any means. But if you want to support us over there, it's kind of cool. And I know Jen, she's been diligently watching the analytics on that. She wants to sell, she wants to see that people like her designs. So you can go check that out while you're over there too. I see, let's see here, Perry saying, I've been enjoying the content, great mix. Well, thank you, man. Yeah, we don't do just one thing here on the channel. We do a little bit of everything, so that's kind of cool. Well, YouTube's algorithm doesn't usually think that's pretty cool because they just get confused. They think everything here is either mower related or radio related, depending on the week. And so they throw all radio videos at mower people and mower videos at radio people, and it has long term hurt the channel. But whatever. Jesse Urban, good to see you, my friend. Jesse and I went through cop school together years ago, man. Good to see you in here, my man. America 911, hello. Storm Radios and Cats, Part 15 here on 1200 Blue Bucket Radio, Central Kentucky. Man, I'm glad to hear that. If you have a shoutcast stream for that, brother, shoot it in the messages. I'd love to catch it after I get off the air tonight. America saying, can't wait for new Midnight Cafe. It's coming. We'll probably start that up again in late June and run it through mid-August. That's what we did last year on WBCQ. As of right now, I'm planning on going back on WBCQ. Talked with those fine folks over there, and we'll do that. But I'm also talking with the folks over at what used to be, well, let's say it's WRMI. Let's go with that. So 5950, now they're floating around a bit. I actually have a conversation with the folks over there tomorrow, and I'll be working with them on possibly a new show. So maybe once or twice a month over and Legends Radio, I'll be on that station as well. So we'll see. And of course, a lot of the shows are in syndication. If you have like real small radio stations in your county, you never know. You might hear me on the radio. Sounding good in Greenville. Good to hear it, my friend. And congratulations on 70K, says David. Thank you, my friend. WRFD.849, right on. Joe R says, back from walking the dog. We just view it as cross-pollination, right on. A Likeness, also looking forward to the Midnight Cafe. So, yeah, I'm glad to hear that. We do have the podcast, which is another thing you can check out. If you've ever thought you might have missed an episode, nearly all of the older episodes are up on as a podcast. Like, you can just go over there and listen to it. And most are, I think you only get like one commercial or two commercials right at the beginning of it. I don't know that I have advertisements through the rest. So you're getting kind of the unfiltered Midnight Cafe over there. The only catch is I can't play any of the music. We have license to play any music I want. So a lot of the WBCQ episodes have some really great songs. We do genres. So it might be big band swing one night, it might be classic country another night, it might be 70s classic, rock on another night. But I can't play any of that, so I cut that stuff out for the podcast episodes. But you get the rest of it in there, which is pretty cool. Kodak Farm saying good evening to you. Robbie Strike says my channel has the same problems. We talk satellite and other tech, and YouTube, they gets confused. It's comical, isn't it, Robbie? That we keep hearing in the news about AI this, AI that. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. It can pass the law exam. It's going to defend somebody, right? And it's like, yeah, it can do that, but it can't tell a person what I'm watching. I just don't get it. I just don't get how that is an issue. But I think that they're just lazy, to be honest with you. I think that good enough is good enough. They're making their money no matter what. So why fix it? Ken Wester, radios and lawnmowers. Sounds like a George Jones tune. Yeah. Another one from Patrick saying, can't wait for the Midnight Cafe. Glad to see there's some fans in here on that. That's cool, man. Price Code says, thank you for helping me grow my love for CB radio. Michael Root said, you losing weight? And I said, not anymore, man. I'm down from, I weighed about 240, and now I'm down to about 185, 190, depending on the day. So I had some pretty bad, I had my gallbladder removed, I had pancreatitis, I had a bunch of stuff going on, as well as that back injury. And so that just took it out of me, buddy. Just took it completely out of me. Joe R. says, have you ever picked up those number stations? Yeah, man, occasionally I do. And that's kind of a cool thing. It's just listening to that stuff. I fall asleep to shortwave pretty much every night. Sometimes I'll listen to AM too, nighttime clear channels. It can be kind of fun too to listen where you're getting tonight. Last night it was all North New England stations, like a lot of New Jersey, Connecticut, stuff like that. I was picking up a lot of those stations. USA Dutchy says, moved from the Netherlands to rural Ohio. I'm a newbie starting on CB scanner and stuff. Love your channel. Well, thank you, man. Congratulations and welcome to the U.S. Ohio is a wonderful place to live. And there you go. Demo28 says, yes, more Midnight Cafe. What is this? This is like the Midnight Cafe appreciation channel, I guess. I love it. That's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. Actually, it motivates me to do more episodes, so thank you. I do appreciate it. 741 also chiming in. The YouTube algorithm doesn't favor those of us who are jacks of all trades. Yeah, I agree. And, I started the second channel, which is something else I want to talk about because it is blowing up. The Farpoint Farms restorations and repairs, for the one or two of you that might not know that exists. That's, it's really taken off. It's crazy. It's over 3,000, and, it's getting, I think, almost 400 subscribers a month over there. That's impressive for a relatively young channel, and certainly not a very good one. I'm not the most interesting gentleman you'll ever see on television, but I'm pleased that people are finding me over there and they're interested in what I'm doing over there. And I guess maybe that's because it is a focused channel, that's why it's growing faster. Well, time will tell. We'll see how that plays out. Let's see. Clyde's Farm saying hello from St. Helens, Michigan. Good to see you in there. Dallas saying, I know you got a lot going on the daily basis, but are you going to get your ham ticket reactivated anytime soon? I know we talked about this 18 months ago. And Dallas, I can't turn this microphone or the camera around right now, but this camera is sitting on an ICOM 7300, or what is it, 7100? I can't remember what I got. Yeah, 7300. I'm blind and getting old. So the answer to your question is yes. I've got it set up. I'm working with Radioddity on an antenna. We're going to do a 3-part series on building an antenna for it, a multi-band antenna, and we're going to set that up. And sometime over the summer at one of the many ham fests I go to, I promise I will in fact get my license and I'll be back on the air. I have been playing with this this beautiful ICOM and I love it. It's a great just general receiver right now, so a lot of cool stuff going on with that radio. It was the one I've been looking at for about 3 years. I've been saving up, and I got it. So we got it right before Christmas, is kind of a Christmas present for myself, so to speak, and we're going with that. So there you go. Michael Root says, do you pick up anything on your GMRS base station? I do. You want to know? You want to know what I pick up? This is pretty interesting stuff here. I pick up a bunch of FRS chatter between parents and kids on a ski slope about 40 miles away that's at a very, very high altitude, so I'm getting line of sight. So that is what I pick up, usually, in the FRS channels. But I leave it on scan, and I'll pick up a lot of random conversations about where are we going to eat, and where are you, and I'm at the top of the mountain, and I'm at the bottom of the mountain. That's it. I have never heard an actual conversation from anybody related to GMRS traffic other than that. So there, I hope that answers your question. Patrick saying, I like watching that channel. Great, man. I'm glad to hear that you enjoy the content over there as well. It's in, and this might be something that some of you all have noticed. What's the name of the company? Vavor. I'm working with them on a lot of automotive products lately, but they are insisting that I put them on the main channel because more eyeballs, which makes sense to me. I hope you'll realize that that is like a great opportunity for me. These are things that I couldn't naturally afford. And so the fact that this company is willing to send me really nice automotive stuff to check out, I'm doing it and I'm happy to do it. And, again, like I say with all my reviews, if there's a product that they have sent me, and I'll be honest and say there was one, and it sucked, you wouldn't know about it because you'd never see the video on it, and you'll never see the video on it. So that's my promise to y'all is that when I do reviews, it's products that I actually think are good, and at this point they're batting 99%, so I'm happy to be working with them, and I hope someday I'll be able to do those automotive reviews over on the automotive channel. But for right now, we're still kind of splitting stuff up. Mike M says, started watching for CB radios. I was also entertained when you reviewed cigars. Yeah, man. I was laughing because I was in high school. My friends used those cigars for, for other uses. Yeah, I a lot of people have commented I might be the only person that actually smoked them for the cigar value of them. But yeah, I do. And you might be able to see right over there, I have this was New Air sent me a humidor. And so I'm probably the only human being on the planet that puts gas station cigars into a humidor. But there you go. David's saying, very nice radio. I mean, it's just beautiful, man. It's just a great radio. Dallas, you as well, the Icom 7300. It's just great, Joe R., the YouTube channel called The Y-Files. By the way, I'm in love with that channel. Did a video on number stations and how they were used for spying. I'm going to take a second to talk about that channel. We came across it not too long ago. I'm very much into, Art Bell, Coast to Coast type conspiracies, the Midnight Cafe, all about that stuff. The Y-Files, when I first came across it, I was so put off by the little goldfish that he's got that I was like, this is silly, man. But you know what? The guy puts out great content. He's really good at what he does, and I've fallen in love with it. So that's a great channel if y'all want to check him out. Not everything is worth watching, but certainly he's got a lot of cool stuff, man. Morgan Russman says, hey, Eric, interesting that you got 70K. I wish I had that myself. I see you've moved locations since I last hopped on your live streams. So in the wintertime, brother, I'm inside. It's too cold to be out in the garage. Like, I can warm up the garage, but, you're burning wood, you're burning fuel. Today was not a shop day for me, so the garage would be cold, so I'm doing this inside. And I've got a big thing I want to share with y'all here in a little bit, but I'm going to go through some of this other stuff with you. David's saying you got a lot of GMRS on road construction. Yeah, I get it, but we're just so far out. Like, that's it. Megan B says, newbie question. Do you only have line of sight conversation with GMRS? So, yes, no, sort of. Power trumps everything, So you can, like, we did some range tests with the ones we have, and certainly I don't have line of sight with the range that we were getting. So some of that stuff was definitely, the ability to just converse with mountains in the way, but reliable conversations, line of sight is certainly the go-to. So I would say there's a certain mileage range, and then beyond that, line of sight's where you're at. Where CB, citizen band stuff, you can throw enough power at it and go well beyond line of sight with that. Where I feel like with GMRS, the max is 50 watts. We were playing with 40 watts. There's just not, there's no 35-mile conversation with mountains in the way on GMRS, but there is 35-mile conversations on CB with a little bit of power behind it. So there you go. Somebody asking about the Anytone. Yeah, somebody else had been asking me questions about that recently, and I've never owned an Anytone. I've heard good things about them, but I haven't owned one yet, so who knows? Patrick was saying, watch the mini bike today. Can't wait till you get it going. Oh, yeah. I've got some cool projects. So there's a whole mini bike restoration video that's already filmed and edited that's going to be going up on the restoration channel. It was actually one for somebody else. I just fixed it up. We got it going, and we're going to raffle it for that company. And then I've got the, I can't remember the Thunderbird that I made the short video on for Vavor over on the other channel. We got an engine for it. We've got that CVT transmission we're going to slap in it. and I'll probably break, all the bones in my body when I try to drive it, but I'm going to have so much fun because I've always wanted a mini bike, and this is the very first one I've ever owned. So that's pretty cool. We also have the go-kart that I bought and a ATV that I bought. And these were all like $20 purchases, but gosh. All right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. Before I go into anything else, here's what I want to tell you guys about. I don't have a picture of it, so I can't share it with you, but I've got a video that's going to come out here shortly, and you guys are going to see it. The theme of it is this: you got to invest in yourself. I do all these things. I do YouTube. I sell cars and fix up cars. I work on cars for customers here at the house. I restore cars both for fun and for profit. I work in town now, a full-time job. So I'm like a super busy guy with the radio and everything else, man. But at some point, I'm going to pull back onto the farm again, and I needed to invest in myself. We're certainly not rich. In fact, we're kind of hurting. But talking with my wife while I was, going through surgery and stuff about where are we going next, and talking also, and this is kind of the reality of it, but talking with the person that handles our taxes and stuff, I'm getting destroyed being a small business owner, and so we decided to buy another building. And I'm going to introduce you to that building here in a little while on video. And it's a huge, pull-in shed. Like, I call it a shed, but geez, my old mobile home was almost the size of this thing. So big building. Half of it's a garage. I'm going to focus on flipping mowers and fixing up mowers and ATVs and go-karts and stuff for resale up there. So it's going to be, half of it's going to be kind of an automotive slash repair studio, and the other half of that is the world headquarters of Farpoint Farms. We're building a studio up there, so we're going to have kind of like, let's go back and talk about the Y-Files. That guy's got himself a studio where he does his filming. I have filmed in front of a little computer in my garage for the last 7 years now. I think it's been almost 8. And so I think it was time after that to finally get myself a dedicated area. We're going to get better lighting, and we're going to get some better wireless microphones, and I might buy a second camera. But we're going to try to up the game here and try to make this more, I wouldn't say professional, but while I'm using this to make money in other ways, I'm going to use it to increase the production value of these videos. A lot of the complaints I do get have to do with audio quality. So we bought a wireless mic. I'm going to buy a second one. And so a lot of the repair videos, I want to be able to get closer in. I want to be able to have dual angles or 3 angles. So we're going to be doing some of that. But today, Jen and I spent the whole day up at this new building, insulating it and running wiring. So we're wiring it in. I've got a fuse box up there. We're going to put heat and AC on the studio side of it. The garage side, I'm going to have a wood stove, buying another toolbox, going to put it up there. And it's, a lot of work, guys, a lot of work, and a lot of investment with money that I had to borrow. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't usually borrow money, but for this, we had to. But this is Farpoint Farms expansion. So we're going to be doing that, and that's going to allow me a dedicated space to film the podcasts, or to do the audio for the podcast, the radio. I'm going to move a lot of the radio equipment up there. It's higher up on the mountain, and so we're going to get a lot better reception, a lot better signals. Going to put a lot of stuff up there. So that's the biggest news, I think, that I can share with you. Probably the biggest news on the farm in 5 or 6 years. Every year we do an expansion. I'll do, add a lean-to or add a building. This building being, I think it's 12 by 36, so it is massive. The mobile home that I lived in for the first 15 years of my life was a 12 by 44, so it's pretty large on the inside. So we're happy about it, and Jen supports me, and we're doing it. So we're doing it. So let me go back and scroll through some of these messages. I hate that I blew up a lot of that stuff, so let me go through that. Wow, I missed a lot of them. I'm sorry. So Art Bell, Eddie's saying yes, Art Bell, right on. Yeah, Joe R. Hecklefish, that's the Y-Files like sidekick. And then, like I said, at first I was like, oh, come on, this is silly. But I see how he's using them as a, and I understand it from radio. You got to have your foil, and he's your foil, so that's perfect. Michael Root saying, looking into getting an Antone Quad 6 radio. It's 50 watts out of the box. Wow, cool, man. Mark Bennett, hi from the UK. Good to see you in here, buddy. Wade saying, congratulations, brother from another mother. Mother, God bless y'all, sir, from Jacksonville, Alabama. Thank you, sir. I really do appreciate it. Eddie Adventure, is the Eton 750 a good practice radio to understand SW sidebands and such? Thinking about getting it. Yes, Eddie. I've heard other people say that they got like bad reviews by other YouTubers, but I can't disagree with that more. I feel like it's a great radio, presets and everything else. I can't think of a new make shortwave with sideband that's going to outdo that, honestly. If you want to go beyond that, you're looking at getting a ham radio and just listening to it, using it as a receiver. Megan B says, mini bike, I saw that. The bus. What about the bus? I'm dying to see it finished. We're working on it when time permits. Like I said, Megan, it's so much going on that I've got I got a lot more done. We've done the whole front end as far as the suspension and the steering and the brakes and the wheel bearings and all that. And now we're working on rear suspension, rear brakes, brake cable, stuff like that. We've replaced the gas tank. I mean, we're working on it, I believe me. But that project is probably taken me, I bet it takes 3 times longer than I originally anticipated. But we're trying to make it something that we can put, 20,000 miles and just travel around the country in that thing. And that ain't easy. It ain't easy with a bus when they were 4 years off the assembly line, let alone one that's 50 years off the assembly line. So yeah, it's not easy. Let's see. Super Rodder said he bought his wife a mini bike and then stupidly got on it and ended up off work for a year. Oh my gosh. Let's hope that I'm not that bad, man. Quadrajet, good to see you in here. Glad to see a live stream, you saying. Good to see you join that live stream. I know it's been too long. Danny Devine, I have a term for it, but I have made a 300-mile GMRS contact when the weather is right. Cool, man. I'm shocked to hear that. I guess maybe because of the mountains, I'm just not having any luck. Reginald says he uses an ICOM 706. Awesome radio. Lots of CB radios, but I think the vintage radio museum he has here is a good one here. Robbie, have you ever seen the documentary God's Angry Man about Gene Scott? I have not, and I've always wanted to. I am going to write that down right now. I've heard of it. Yep, God's Angry Man. I'm writing it down, buddy. YouTube. All right. Yeah, I wanted to watch that for a long time, so that's pretty awesome. Robbie, on a side note about Gene, the people I'm working with at WRMI, they've met Eugene Scott. They worked with him because he used to broadcast on their shortwave station. And so when I was there, he was telling me all about how Gene Scott got him his first cigar back in like the the 70s. Remember, Gene loved to smoke cigars, and so this guy we had an interesting conversation about him. But yeah, thank you for giving me that info. I appreciate it. Congratulations on the expansion, says 741. Looking forward to seeing what you do in the new building. Thank you, man. It's like any time you expand a business or do anything that's like, oof, you're hanging your rear out over the edge. But I felt good about it, so we're doing it, man. Patrick saying, good for you, man. Don't work yourself to death. Yeah, and that's the way it is. Sometimes you wonder, holy cow, some folks have been donating money here. I'll go down here in a second. I'm going to have to catch up with everybody. So Barney, thank you very much. $20 from Barney. I really appreciate it. I don't know what that was. There we go. Let's see. I learned about your show from Clyde's Farm and Wheel. It's great. Oh, thanks, man. So I didn't know Clyde had given me a shout out, but let me write his name down too, and I'll check out his. Actually, I think I have checked out their site, but I like to go check out. It's amazing. So like anytime I get subscribers, like I do go over and like look at some of the subscribers if they have stuff, and it's amazing. Like guys and gals out there who have maybe 100 subscribers or 200 subscribers, some of their content is better than anything I'll ever put out. And it's weird that like so many just fade away into the darkness with great content. But my Farpoint Farms theme song, that guy, that's somebody I met. He subscribed to my channel. I clicked on it. I was like, man, this guy's got some cool music. Sent him a rando email, and wouldn't you know it, I've got the greatest theme song of all time. So I think that's pretty cool, isn't it? Mike's saying, what's your other channel? I'm only subscribed to this one. So it's Farpoint Farms Restorations and Repairs, Mike. It's all automotive and, just tool reviews and automotive repairs and reviews and like projects, everything but mowers. So I'll do mini bikes, go-karts, ATVs, stuff like that. So there we go. Megan B saying $20. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate that so much. You know, we don't come on here begging for cash, but, you know, it's always nice to have it. Certainly, I've expended quite a bit, and I will continue to do so in order to finish this project. But it's, I feel like it was money spent on the right thing, and I do appreciate it. Like I talked about at the beginning, we do have memberships now. I think Barney is my first and only member, and I appreciate that. So if you don't want to go to Patreon, right here on YouTube, you can do, I think it's $2, $4, and $6 a month. $6 a month, no one's going to pay that, but if somebody wanted to, I'm planning to do a private like meeting, like, you know, we're going to do a live show, but it would just be the members only that wanted to do that. If that's something you're all interested in, you can let me know, but it's, you know, it is what it is anyway. But I do appreciate y'all donating to the system here. That's pretty cool. I appreciate it. The theme song is pretty darn good, says KJ7ABK. Yeah, I mean, it's catchy. It's great. It just hits everything. And like, you know, lightning only strikes usually once, but occasionally it'll strike 2 or 3 times. But I was just blown away that's what came out of that conversation. So going to these small channels and clicking on them and getting to know some of these folks, getting to know you guys, has been just the coolest thing to come out of YouTube, all in all, I'd say. So say Michael Root saying he learned about my channel when he bought a handheld and needed info about it and found me on YouTube. Yeah, I had a couple of videos like all about handheld radios, and of course back then there wasn't a lot of new stuff coming out, so a lot of it was Radio Shack stuff, a couple of Cobras, but now it's just crazy. There's people are coming back into CB. It's getting bigger for sure. The Polarian message says, Farpoint, I'm just a little guy. I do CB radio and SDR stuff. Cool, man. Well, I'll write you down too and check you out here after we're done. Polarian message. Gotcha. Megan saying, yeah, it's investment. No doubt about it. The farm family looks after our own. Right on. I appreciate it. I really do. So my wife gave me cheat sheets, because one thing that is going on in my life is that my memory is not as good as it once was. I think maybe some of these multiple sicknesses that I got caught up with me a little bit. A lot of times I'll forget names or say the wrong name. I know some of you caught that over the summer where I was doing an engine rebuild and I kept referring to parts as another part. I don't, you know, I've been to a bunch of doctors about it, and it's nothing that they really feel like is worried. You know, I don't need to worry about it right now. I think it's just part of, what do they call that? Getting old, I think is what they call that. But we've talked about the studio. I told you about the forums over on the website. I hope you guys will go over there after this is over with, post a bunch of stuff, start some conversations, and yeah, have fun with that. We do still have Patreon. I don't really promote it. There are, you know, about 20 of y'all who have chosen to support the channel, and we always appreciate that. If there's anything I can do over there that would make it more valuable for you guys, let me know. Of course, we have the Facebook page, which has about 1,500 followers, and I do post from time to time. I just never know what to do on Facebook. Like, I want to do more with it, but I never know what to say or what to do. Like, should I post a video over there? Should I make, you know, exclusive videos for Facebook? I just never know. So maybe y'all can chime in on that for me. Oh, this is cool. This right here. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera because it's kind of a subdued thing. Marvel Mystery Oil. This is so cool. Marvel Mystery Oil. I love their stuff, man. I love their stuff. Marvel Mystery Oil reached out to me, and we are working together. It's been 100 years since Marvel was released, you know, and I've been using this stuff for ages because it actually does work, unlike so many products out there. But Marvel, they watched like an old video of mine, and they were like, hey, dude, you know, since you like this stuff, we got 100 years going on. We're releasing a new product. And I like freaked out. I thought, oh, that's it. You know, they've ruined it. And so we talked on the phone. I actually had a video conference with their like engineers, like all their big shots over there. And what they have done, and I'm going to let the cat out of the bag because I think it's coming out next week, is they've come out, they've taken the exact formula, everything is the same. The base that it sits in, you know, like the oil used to be, I think, 0W16 weight oil, but it was conventional oil. And what they have come to determine is the oil, you know, interchanges, like the intervals are like way longer on modern cars than 5,000. So people are running synthetic oil, and, you know, Marvel is good for like 5,000 miles. So they decided to change it to a synthetic base. So that way it'll go, 75, 9,000 miles. Don't do that, by the way. But if you're going to go that long on an oil change, they've got a synthetic version now, and they're so cool, man. So they were like, we're coming out with this, but don't even bother to use it in your gas. Just use it in the oil because it's going to cost a few bucks more because it's synthetic. But use half a bottle in your oil every oil change. It'll last you 10,000 or 2 oil change intervals, whatever that may be. Use the other stuff and continue using your gas. So I'm happy to be working with them. They sent me a cool shirt and a case of the new synthetic as well as a case of the regular stuff, and I was just super psyched. So you'll see a big video on that next week when it goes public, but I'm making it public a little early. I hope they don't freak out on me, but but there we go. So I'm really happy to tell you all about that. So I'm going to go back through some of these. I'm sorry that oh man, okay. NC Long saying hello. Good to see you in there, bud. A lot of people saying, yeah, found me while looking for CB radio. Let's see. What other Hamfest, swap meets, flea markets do you look forward to in the spring on the East Coast? Normally I go to the Raleigh Hamfest, which is in April. This year my mom's coming to visit us up here, so I won't be able to come down there, but that's a good one. Shelby, which John Blanton there, he's in here tonight. See, good to see you in there, Blanton. He told me all about Shelby Hamfest. That one is great. I love that one. And then there's some smaller ones, but it's hard to say for certain which ones I'm going to go to because life is just so complicated these days. But I always try to go to Raleigh because my mom lived down there, and so I just go visit her and use that as an excuse. But there we go. Randy wants to know if I'm a ham, can I share my call sign? Randy, because I am what I refer to as a YouTube personality, a part of being a YouTube personality is that there are weird people that occasionally hate you. Like they're people with mental problems that just decide that you're evil or you're bad or I don't know what. And so I don't share my call sign, and it's one of the biggest things that I have as far as a problem with ham radio in general is that you have a public database that shows what kind of car you're driving, shows where you live. It shows way too much personal information, and I find it offensive that we allow that to happen in the modern era. But for that reason, my friend, I will never share my call sign, and I hope you can understand that. Let's see. Modern Cobra 29s are junk. Yeah, I've never been a huge fan of 29s in general. There's just other radios that fascinate me more, but they're, the old ones, you can do a lot to them, so there's a lot of mods out there for them. John Bland saying, can't remember stuff. I think it's some timers. Yeah. Megan B says it's fuzzy brain, a symptom of an autoimmune illness. As you know, I have autoimmune illness. You learn workarounds. Don't worry. Yeah, well, thanks, Megan, and I appreciate that comment. I do take some natural supplements that are supposed to try to help with it. It's days. Like this morning, I woke up. I had a hard time writing. It was just so bad. And other days, I'm as sharp as I was when I was in my 20s. But some days, it's a struggle, and today was one of them. I'm kind of surprised I haven't screwed up this more than I have. I was a little worried, but I did drink a whole bunch of caffeine before I came on the air just so I would be more energetic, and usually that helps pick your brain up a little bit. Jordan B was out hunting balloons. Good to see you in here, my friend. You're one of the originals, and I appreciate you. Yeah, boy, that's some weird stuff. That is a Midnight Cafe episode all by itself. That is, there's some weird stuff going on in this world. So much goes on behind the scenes that we never have any idea about. And tell you what, man, I'm a little worried. I almost want to be in the dark on some of this stuff because I think there's just bad stuff getting ready to happen all around, and it just worries me, Bro Weaver, where are all these balloons coming from? Yeah, like I said, that's all about the Midnight Cafe for sure. I'll leave it for that channel. Let's see. My dad believed that Marvel fixes everything. It does fix a lot of things. Like it can't fix real damage to a car, but stuck lifters, stuck rings, oil burning, hard engine oil seals that are leaking. There are so many things that whatever magic they have going on inside there, it really does work. And again, like the videos that you never see from me are because people send me stuff that suck. And I've made Marvel Mystery Oil videos for better part of 5 or 6 years now, and they never knew I existed. I was doing that because it really does work. So let's see. Appreciate your informational videos on radio comms. Thanks for promoting the hobby. Yeah, man. Like there was a time, I can't remember who it was. He's probably still on the channel at some place. He used to say I was the one-man show bringing CB radio back, like that it was a dead hobby. And I feel like really great about it because there's so many channels now that do CB radio videos. And when I started in 2014, 2015, whatever year it was, I made that first video. There was nobody out there. There was a couple like maybe 2 or 3 minute potato quality videos, but The Beginner's Guide to CB Radio was one of the 2 videos that really founded this channel and has, I think, 500,000 views on it. And it did well. And you all know that there's that video I put out, 3 reasons to get CB Radio now. And man, that one blew up too. It's 250,000 on it already. And it's only been out 3 weeks. Doc saying we want the show. Oh, wait, it's on. Yeah, John saying caffeine helps. Yeah, except when I'm trying to fall asleep after the show ends. I usually stop drinking at, at about like 2 o'clock. I don't have any caffeine after lunch, so. Yeah, John Bland's, my call sign is the subscribe button. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you're watching this, please do subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Yeah, keep it up. Let me see. I'm going to scroll down here. How is Jen going to share more canning videos? I have asked her to do cooking videos. I have like 3 cooking videos that I want to do. Poor Man's Cookbook stuff. And she cooks some great stuff. I want you to tell her that. I wish that I could give her email out and I wish she was sitting in here with me instead of hiding. But I want her to, because I'm telling you, people love those videos, and I don't think she realizes how much people comment on that stuff, But yeah, I would love her to do some more cooking videos. She's the chef here at the house. I cook when she asks me to, but it's never even, it doesn't hold a candle. I am the poor man's cookbook. She is the glamorous gourmet cookbook, KJ7ABK, hey man, thank you. Seriously, thank you for the content. Got me through a lot. True spirit of the radio, brother. I appreciate the shout out, and I appreciate the donation. That is awesome, man. That is awesome. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Bro Weaver says if you start as a new ham, you need to use a P.O. box. Never use your real address. It will cause you. Yes, thank you, Bro Weaver. You're a genius. So I am getting a P.O. box because the businesses that I run, I'm getting more and more stuff shipped to me by companies, and so it does get weird sometimes giving that out. So that is, you are, I love you, man. I'm not kidding, bro. That was the best information I've gotten in like 10 years, because I can't tell you that probably for 3 years now I've put off getting a ham license because I don't want people to know where I live. Like, I know that a motivated weirdo is going to figure it out anyway, and that's a contingency that I think anybody that puts themselves on the radio or on video or whatever is always aware of. But I just respect my privacy, man. Like, I got a gate at the end of the driveway for a reason. It's not that I'm a jerk. It's just that I don't want to be bothered, randomly. It's, I'm kind of a private guy. It was just really weird because you're very public when you're on the internet and on the radio, but in real life, I'm very private. I'm very, very private. Michael Root, my work truck is a 98 S10. The motor's bad, so I run 3 quarts of Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer. Holy cow. You're just running it off of that, and it's working, huh? Not bad. You definitely made me aware of modern use of CB radio. I remember my dad had one in the early 80s, but I thought it was completely dead. I was surprised to see the activity. Metalunar, I am glad to hear that. That's kind of what I feel like, is that so many people just forgot it, like new stuff came along and they were like, cool, new toys, shiny, that they forgot the value that CB radio brings. And of course it's weird, like for hobbyists like myself, skip, which the solar cycle is going up right now, and skip is becoming more and more of a thing. And it's as a hobby, it's cool to talk all over the world. But for local use, it's actually a bad time to get into CB radio because it can be difficult to communicate, 2 or 3 miles down the road when the skip is going like that. But it's still a great hobby. It's still great for highway use and for driving. And man, I wouldn't be caught without it, man. And I'm glad that other people have been made aware of it. So Megan saying she appreciates Jen. Her stuff is so good. Yeah, man, those cowboy candy is my favorite. I put that on everything now. So of course it costs a lot more since everything costs a lot more, but we make a big batch of it when we catch it on sale. Yeah, Patrick's saying he enjoys your cooking videos as well. Yeah, man. So Joe Arrow says, can we expect another Hornet assassination with a BB gun this year? Maybe. And let me ask you guys, do you want videos on... I won't do real gun videos just because I don't want to get and run afoul of YouTube, but I'd be happy to do... I have a couple of them. I have one from when I was a kid, and I got that machine gun thing, so I'd be happy to do that. Megan B says, dedicated P.O. boxes for each individual business, not all together. Each tax is deductible. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, and 741 saying P.O. box for ham license too. Helps with privacy. Man, where were you people? I have been sweating this out for years. This is great information. 741, thank you. Megan, thank you. Everybody, thank you. And this is what the Farpoint family is all about here, because this is helpful. Honestly, you guys are making this great. NC Long is too bad people can't respect you and your privacy. They do, dude, for the most part. I've got one or two, like, I wouldn't call them crazy stalkers, but they probably are. I used to call them the thumbs down, or the guy like gets up first thing in the morning and watches every single one of my videos and thumbs down them, and you could tell, like, I hardly ever get a thumbs down for a genuine reason. When I do, I mean, that's cool too, but it just blows me away that it was like clockwork for about 3 or 4 years. In fact, when he stopped, I even made a post being like, hey, I hope you're doing okay, buddy. I miss you. And then he came back. Maybe I should have let it alone, but yeah, so I don't know. Maybe the guy's living in another country somewhere, but he also might be, 20 miles down the road. Who knows? And I just hope he doesn't figure out that 20 miles is that 20 miles, Anyway, there we go. Storms, radios, and cats. Yes, I'm the same way. Very private. Anyone coming down my old dirt driveway in the winter, I might shake their hand and make it up the hill, but then tell them to go home. Yeah. Like, and John is my neighbor. We met very accidentally through one of my videos and realized this guy's the closest neighbor I have, and I love him, and we're friends. But like, it's this nervous moment when you're like, wow, I'm going to meet a fan, and you just wonder, is that a normal fan, or is it you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure that, I'm not a movie star, but they deal with that stuff all the time when you just never know who's coming up to shake your hand, and so when I go to Hamfest and stuff like that, I'm a little more subdued because it's just kind of goofy. It's just weird, but it's all part of what I've become, I guess, as I've grown older. I've done radio for years, but radio is an anonymity in itself because no one ever sees your face. They might know your name, but they don't really know your face. So putting yourself out on YouTube is a whole different animal, no doubt. Metalunar saying the ironic thing right now is not only is CB not dead, but it's actually so crowded because of the skip, it's hard to make out conversations. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like it's suffering under its own success, right? Megan says, get a P.O. box in a different town you live in. And that's another good, I'm going to do that out of town. And I can do that because I work like 5 or 6 towns over. Everything's 45 minutes from here, so there we go. Morgan Russman, hey Eric, my grandfather's friend got a snowblower from his brother. The engine is locked up. It has a pull rope that won't budge. I pulled the spark plug and it was dry, I think half. One of the rings or rods jumped and is jammed against the cylinder wall. So if they're wedged, like if it is not just like heat locked up, where you've got scoring, Marvel probably won't fix that, or probably won't fix like one that's broken and wedged itself in there. But if they're just stuck from heat, I've actually heard people bust them loose. Now that engine's going to smoke when it breaks free, but soak it in Marvel and give it a good whack, and a lot of times you will break them loose. I've had people do it. Y'all think I need to make a pumpkin chucker video? I need to get one of those Cheetos, like blow up tires. Those things are good for like launching potatoes and stuff. So there we go. Mike P says loves my content on CB and VWs. You are, sir, a good fan. I appreciate you. Michael Garden says, do you have any fire in the wire or barefoot? I have an amp at this point in time. I can't say that I've used it very often, but there's been times where I've had conversations at range. Like there's a couple of guys I talked to, and they are 35 and 38 miles away. That is a tough distance to cover. And so a lot of times we'll start a conversation. I'll be talking with them. They'll be talking with people that are more local to them. And those guys can't hear me very well, or I can't hear them very well. And so I'll flip the switch. I don't like doing it because they're breaking the law. And, who knows what I'm messing with. But there have been a time or two where I flipped the switch. I admit that I did it. So I'll probably get sued by the FCC now. So there we go. Oh, yeah, man. Computers ETC. Yeah, I've watched a couple of your videos lately. Good deal. Chris, good to see you in here, man. Glenn saying, is there anything else I'm going to miss? We've talked about T-String. We've talked about the website. We've talked about the fact that it hit 70,000, and that was huge. We've talked about the forums over there, and we've talked about the new studio. Sir, you are free to leave if you'd like to. I'm actually getting ready to head out of here in about 10 or 15 myself, so I do appreciate you coming in. And there we go. Oh, yeah, Frank's talking about moving above the 40, the regular 40. I remember above and below 40, and back in the 90s, I was always above the 40. I was at like 38 upper, or, what was it now? Gosh, maybe it was 42 would be the official channel that it was, but Yeah, I used to do that when it was so popular and so busy. And I haven't thought about out of band chat in a long time. I think I even made a video on it a couple years back that it existed. And a lot of times you buy a used base station, it's got those switches, man. QRP Adventure says, do you know of a 23 channel CB with an 8-track player? No kidding. Had one in the 80s and I'm having a hard time finding it. No, I have seen a guy that had a cassette deck, AM, FM, with a CB built in, but I have not heard of that. No 8-track player. Metalunar, how common is free banding? Yeah, so they're just talking about that, and it's like, I don't know. I haven't been out of band in forever, so now you guys are like making me curious. I have some radios that have the switches. I guess maybe I need to plug one in and flip the show there, right? Gary saying, just subscribe, introduce you to your show by a friend. Great, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good to have you in here, Gary. NC Longa says, I use my CBs barefoot. I also love your VW content. Yeah, man, we're working on the bus. The bus is going to take, we were hoping to have it wrapped up by June. Realistically, I bet we're looking at another half a year past that. Maybe Christmas, maybe even the following spring. That's just, I'm not going to rush, man. I want to, like, every time I get too deep in it and I get frustrated, I remind myself, this one's for fun. And so I just pull the plug and I do other stuff. That's why I've got the mini bike and the go-kart and stuff. So I love turning wrenches, but I want to do other things. So let's see here. Oh man, so hide from the FCC. I'll have to check him out too. Joe R, I just turned on 38 lower sideband and heard some idiot playing police sirens, so I turned the radio off. Huh, weird. Yeah, there's, some of these skip people, they get drunk or something. They do something crazy. I don't get that, but that's a thing. It's a thing we're stuck with. Somebody was saying he didn't like CB because of that. And, it's the same thing with internet. It's the same thing with all modes of communication. There's going to be people who are a little touched in the head and, they're going to do stuff that just doesn't, it's just silly. Like, 50 and 60-year-old people just doing stuff that a teenager would be doing. But that's just the way it is, my guys. Eventually they go away, they find another hobby to destroy. Let's see, Chris Garrett, CD player, the 8-track may have come out in some cars. Cadillacs had CB. Yeah, okay. Storm's Radio and Cat had JC Penney CB that had FM radio. Cool. Yeah, I wouldn't think there's a lot going on outside the regular 40 channels, but who knows, John said he had an 8-track stuff below his CB and a 63 Impala. No kidding, man. I'm reading here, guys. I'm just going to stop for a second. Zieg saying, so good to see you back. A bit off topic, but have you tried Siberian blueberries? I have not. Might be quite a good addition to your farm. Cool. We're actually going to be planting some more blueberries this year at the new building, so that's pretty awesome, man. Aquarium with fish. It says best distance between two antennas, please. For which, CB or so there's no firm answer for that, my friend. Like, CB, if I were in Nevada on a very flat, wide open distance and I put two antennas at 60 feet of height, I'd be able to talk all over the world, man. The range would be incredible, 80 miles perhaps, line of sight and then some for sure. But here where I am, it's a miracle. I have one direction. It's probably a 5-degree direction where the mountains are low enough that I get over that range and get all the way out into distant Tennessee to talk. Every other direction, 10, 12 miles max, and that's that's really good, As far as car use, 5 to 10 miles max on a car or truck, both directions. And that depends on, again, antennas, height, all that stuff. Yeah, I do agree. CB is the Wild West of radio. All right, guys, here it is. I think it is about 7:30. Let me check my clock here. It is, no, it's still got a few more minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go till 7:30, and then we'll probably wrap things up. I'm just going to thank all of you. 70,000 subscribers. 70,000 subscribers. Actually, I think it's like 70,100 and some odd already. It's moved that quickly since I announced it, I think, on Monday when it hit. The channel is popular, and it's popular because of you. And I appreciate every one of you coming in here and talking with me. I think we got 85 in here right now. I know we had over 100 at one point. Those are people that just kind of show up, man, and that's awesome. And so many of my friends are on here. So many people, that I know, so many names that I recognize. And when I don't recognize them, you're there telling me, hey, man, I used to be this guy. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. The new building is the biggest thing you're going to see this year out of this channel. It's a big part. We're going to have a studio, Farpoint Studios. We're going to be able to do more shoutcast streams. We're going to do more podcasts. We're going to do more on WBCQ. I'm going to be on WRMI doing shows on there with a little luck. We're going to be doing more quality videos. We're going to have, I'm buying a light kit. I'm buying a better green screen. I mean, you name it. I don't know if any of y'all noticed, but a lot of my icons, the pictures that you see when before you click on the video, my wife is doing all that. So we have upped our game as far as trying to make better quality. And I owe that all to you. The money that I make off of this channel, we reinvest it. Usually we reinvest 99% of it because of hospital bills and stuff like that this year, and just having terrible luck health-wise for the last 12 months. But I feel so much better, man. The last 2 months I've just felt so much better. Other than the memory issues and such, I feel like my old self. But most of the time we reinvest, and so that's where we're at. That's what I want to tell you, is that when you watch a video, when you see the silly commercials, or when you watch me do a review on a product, know this: like, when I look at a Vavor 2-ton engine hoist on this channel and you're like, that's not CB related, click on it and watch it. You might learn something about it, and you'll be supporting the channel and allowing me opportunities to get things like that from companies like Vavor. It's incredible. I've got 3 really, really nice shortwave radios coming because of you guys that I don't have to pay for. XHD Data, I can't remember the name. XH Data, I think is what it is, or HD Data. These are really great radios. 2 of them arrived. The 3rd one's coming. I'm going to be doing reviews on them. But these are sideband, handheld shortwaves, and I needed one to replace the one that I used to take on trips, because it's just 15, 20 years old. It was dying. So there you go. Those are opportunities that I get to share with you, and opportunities that I get to have because of you. So I couldn't say thanks enough. That's what $70,000, 70,000 subscribers is all about you. And I wish there was some way else that I could do that. I'd like to do these live shows more often, but realistically, guys, I'm like crazy. I've got so much going on. Patrick wants to know when the video coming out on the new building. So we have part 1, which is them delivering it, which was interesting. And I'll make a video on that, and then we're going to make some videos as we assemble it. I'm not going to show you, like today I insulated it. We ran wiring and a fuse box and all that stuff. It's amazing. If there's one thing that I can share with the whole wide world, and hopefully this channel has taught y'all some of that, it's that my hobby is CB radio, my hobbies are riding mowers, and my hobbies are fixing cars. But like, be a jack of all trades, like 741 said 45 minutes ago. Be a jack of all trades. If you don't know how to do something, watch a video on YouTube and learn how to do it, and learn. Don't pay somebody to do this stuff. Y'all can do this stuff. I don't have any professional experience wiring houses, but I've done upgrades. I've rewired, old screw-in type fuses, replaced the whole fuse panel in the garage that I work out of now years ago. All these things that I did because I was able to go out on YouTube or read a book or go to the library and look it up, and you can too. You can too. So up there right now, I'm not going to film that because it's stuff you've seen. I'm going to film updates. I'm not going to film how-tos on that. But we wired it today. We insulated it today. We're supposed to get snow tomorrow, or I don't know. They're talking like it may snow. So probably won't work on tomorrow. But next weekend, I'll be drywalling one side, and the other side is just going to be plywood. And we're going to start building the garage, putting in the lights and stuff. Now I've got to trench from the yard all the way down to the main power line and do that. So we won't have active power or high amounts of power for a while. But I'm using those jump boxes, or not jump boxes, but the power packs that we get. I've got 4 or 5 of those things. I give a lot of those away, but we're going to backfeed that right into the fuse box, so all the outlets are juiced up. So it's perfect, And again, that's something you guys. The very first one of those that somebody asked me, hey, would you mind doing a review on this? I was jumping up and down with joy. And now I've gotten so many of them that like 5 of the people I work with got those for Christmas in the last 2 years. Those things ain't cheap, but I'm able to give those to folks that otherwise, just like me, wouldn't be able to afford them. And I think that's just so, man, I don't know. I'm getting off topic, I guess, right? This is the topic that I want to talk about, which is just being grateful. Being grateful and hoping that you guys are getting something out of this and continue to get something out of this. You know what I mean? 741 says, great to see your hard work paying off. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, man. Thank you for being a friend all these years. Mass Action saying, you're welcome. There you go. Megan saying, please let Jen know we miss her cooking videos. Right on. Mavericks RC saying, good old University of YouTube. No doubt. And I mean, there's plenty of bad information out there too, but boy, I tell you what, think about the resource that this is for all of us. Kazoo saying, don't let perfection get in the way of good enough. Yeah, and so normally that is how I take this. But on the studio side, I'm going to build some nice cabinets. We're doing a nice table. We're doing everything up. We're going to get the right lighting. We're doing this once, and we're going to be done is what I'm hoping to do here. So I hope when it's done and the new videos start rolling out and you see it, that you'll understand why I decided to do the upgrade, and I think that it'll be awesome. Super Router says, I don't watch TV. I read and watch YouTube in my spare moments. Yeah, so we watch TV. And we have a Roku, and it's all like 99.9% of the time it's on YouTube. It's the best app on there, and so we do that, and sometimes I'll listen to the radio through the TV, but that's about it, man. It's pretty cool. Mike saying this is the way. It is, man. Thanks. The Troubleshooter says the theme song is pretty cool, man. Guys, I don't know what else I can tell you. Go to the forums, check them out. Let's start this conversation permanently, right? Go over there, talk about what you love. If there's a topic that's not a topic, but a directory that you don't like, like, hey man, I'm not really into CB, not really into mowers. I really like talking about pressure washers. Well, cool. Start a conversation about pressure washers. I'll talk to you about it. I'll check in every other day or every day, and I'll do it. I hope you'll do that. I hope you continue to support the channel, both by viewing it. If you really want to become a member, I would love to have you at it. I think it's really cool that YouTube offers that. It's another way for people to show support of a channel. We started it up. If you really want to make Jen dance up and down, go buy one of her cool designs that she's created on the, what is the name of that thing? Teespring or Spring or something like that. I think there's a link on the website for it. But she made, took a couple pictures of our farm and turned them into paint. It was beautiful. It really is beautiful. So I hope you'll all check that stuff out too. And the videos are keeping on. We got 2 a week over here at least, and 2 a week over on the other channel. Most weeks. Some weeks over there it might just be 1. Automotive content is kind of tough. If I'm not doing repair that's worthy of filming, it's a little hard to build the content over there, but there you go. And for those many of you at the beginning of the show that was like, hey, the Midnight Cafe, we miss it. It's coming back. It always comes back. Every year you get another, I think the least amount of episodes I did was 8. And usually it's 12 to 13. It's a lot of work. Somebody was asking me why I don't do it year-round or why I don't do it nightly. Every 1-hour episode of Midnight Cafe takes me at least 3 hours to film or to record and edit, and probably another 3 hours to research. So those things are not simple to put out. I enjoy it. I enjoy the product when it's done, man. I enjoy the idea that, especially on shortwave, that unlike the little stations that it's been on over the years, that it goes out everywhere, like the whole world and out into space, Some alien's going to pick that up in 100,000 years on Planet X, and, and he's going to love it, I hope. That's it, my friends. I'm heading out of here. Great program, it says. Thank you, Steven. Glad you're feeling better. Yes, me too, man. Me too. Hair saying, booyah. All right, brothers. Patrick saying, right on, Eric. Have a great weekend. Talk to you next time. And that goes for all of you. Good night, my friends. Good night. And I appreciate every one of you. Take care.